Shift our focus, viewers, to news specifically from Pakistan, where Pakistan's military has entered a new era of unprecedented power, with General Asim Munir becoming the country's first chief of defense forces on November 27. The historic move follows the passing of the 27th Amendment to the Pakistani Constitution, which consolidates military control by placing Munir at the helm of all three services: Army, Navy and Air Force. The changes also grant him extended power over Pakistan's nuclear weapons, effectively elevating him to a position of unmatched authority. The amendment abolishes the role of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, a position that had been in place for nearly 5 decades. Munir's new role also extends his tenure to 2030, with his retirement date pushed back to 2027. He now has immunity from legal prosecution, a level of protection usually reserved for the country's president. Critics argue that this further reduces the civilian government's control over the military, giving the army more sway in political and military matters. The move has sparked concern that Munir's expanding powers could tip the balance of power further in favor of the military, leaving politicians in a subservient position. Asim Munir's rise to dominance mirrors the centralization of military power seen during past military regimes, with many experts warning that this shift could undermine Pakistan's political stability in the long run. All right, we now want to welcome retired Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, former Army Commander, into the discussion here. I extend you a very warm welcome, sir, and I hope you are able to hear me clearly.
Thank you very much.
Sir, now with these powers, extended powers given to Asim Munir by Pakistan, do you think Pakistan is slowly and steadily shifting towards a military regime?
See how I see the consequences of the 27th Amendment to the Constitution, which you are referring to, specifically Article 243 regarding the control of the armed forces. I suspect what has happened is this, that after the complete military drubbing that Pakistan received on the 10th of May, when they faced a very severe existential threat, they are taking recourse to measures to strengthen the position of the army chief and the field marshal. What was de facto has become de jure. The field marshal rank has been codified in constitutional positions, and he has also been granted immunity from prosecution. See, the last time Musharraf conducted a coup in 2007,
Right.
he was charged with treason. So the Pak army and the Pak army chief, Asim Munir, they are taking all precautions so that they get complete, legal immunity from any wrongdoings in the future. The chief of army staff will also be the chief of the defense forces. They have created a national strategic command, or I think the 3-star heading the national strategic command will also be from the army. So this will lead to the complete marginalization of the Pak Air Force and the Pak Navy. In most modern democracies, you are moving to unification by way of integrating the three services in an equitable manner. Here you are doing the complete reverse by giving all powers to the army, which will actually weaken their operational finesse. This is an era of joint forces, integrated fights. If you weaken the army and the air force in this manner, it is good news. The second thing that has happened is that Pakistan is back to its old game, where the army is exercising complete control over the nuclear terror complex. With the 3-star heading the strategic command once again being only from the army, this position is not open to the Air Force and the Navy, and this 3-star being appointed by the Chief of Army Staff, the stranglehold of the army is complete. With the Jaish also largely being controlled by the army, you have this nuclear terror complex back in business, where under a nuclear cover they will go on a terror rampage. And by way of carrots to the Air Force and the Navy, they have said, oh, we will have an admiral of the fleet and the marshal of the air force. So as I said, it completes the marginalization of the Pak Navy and the Air Force. It has clipped the wings of the judiciary by appointing by creating this federal constitutional court. So what has really happened is that in Pakistan, the political leadership is of no consequence. With the wings of the judiciary being clipped and the Navy and the Air Force being completely marginalized, the undisputed Tsar is the chief of the army staff, who will also be the chief of defense forces. So Nawaz Sharif once said, vote ko izzat do. Shehbaz Sharif has turned it into boot ko izzat do. So this is actually heralding a new era in the banana republic that Pakistan is. So it doesn't worry me at all because it is moving 400% in the wrong direction. Unko mubarak ho.
All right. Well, thank you, Lieutenant General, for sharing the Indian perspective with us. And I also want to now welcome Kaswar Klasra, who is the editor-in-chief at the Islamabad Telegraph, into the discussion here. Kaswar, thank you for joining us here at NewsX World. Now, if we talk about the rise of Asim Munir, he now appears to be the most powerful man in Pakistan. What kind of immunity does he really enjoy with this fresh amendment to the constitution, and what do you think are some of the decisions now he's going to take?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. Let me tell you, it's not about the Banana Republic. The democratic forces in Pakistan have actually passed the 27th Amendment. It was not army that passed the amendment, rather the democratic forces. And it was not the Pakistan's Muslim League Nawaz or even the Prime Minister. Actually, the forces, the political forces that included Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, Pakistan's People's Party, and other small parties as well. They were on the same page when it's come to pass the 27th Amendment. And 27th Amendment has not given power to a single man. Actually, this was a bid to centralize Pakistan's quick response, not only to the eastern border, but also on the western border as well. You know, the Pakistan, even with due respect to my senior colleagues, who is there, Major General Asim, actually this is something that Pakistan has been aspiring for a long time, to save, to give a command which can, take quick reaction, whether it comes to war with India or even on the western borders as well. So it was a bid to centralize the power, and in a state of war, and Pakistan has been in a state of war for many times, and even we are still in a state of war when it comes to eastern, western borders as well. So it was a humble bid to decentralize Pakistan's command. And definitely, Asim Munir has shown his capabilities, and I will not go into the detail as well. So I think, in my opinion, this is nothing about crippling the power of Pakistan's democratic powers. Democracies actually produce wonderful, it has been the hallmark of the Pakistan democratic forces that they passed 27th Amendment just to give immense powers to its forces. And Asim Munir is definitely, he's a beneficiary, no doubt about that. But he has shown his powers, he has shown his capabilities as well. So in a nutshell, I think it was a humble, a show of decentralizing Pakistan's democratic forces. And in a nutshell, all of the forces, the Navy and Air Force and also the ground forces have been on the same page. And just to save, the time and just to centralize the control and command system, Pakistan has been aspiring for a long time. And I think it was one of the best decisions that the Pakistan Democratic Forces, Pakistan's political parties have taken in here. That was the best part.
All right. Thank you, Kaswar, for joining us here at NewsX World and sharing that with us. Viewers, that's all the time that we have for. Keep watching.